Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. I'm gonna go ahead and mute that on this tablet. Boy, that tablet ain't working too well. I can see it, but it's twirling. I should have just left it on the phone. It isn't working too well at all. It's loading really, really slow. I'm late because I slept late. Indeed, I didn't sleep good at all today. I fell asleep after 4 p.m. Got up a little bit, ate supper, went back to bed, and woke up somewhere around after midnight. After midnight. Indeed, it was getting close to 1 a.m. This is taking forever loading on this thing, and I was hoping to see the chat, but I can't see the chat. It has blocked my chat off. Problem with this is it is an older Apple, and I could not take the latest software, so I'm having to use the browser. That's not my TV remote off. Should have just left it on the phone. Send a good picture, though. I see it. I can't hear me because I muted the sound. Boy, it's got a good picture on that thing. I wish I could lower the chat room. Oh, here we go. Yeah, now it's right in the screen. I can see my chat room now. That's great. Although I hardly have any chatters anyway. It was slow, but it got up there. I can actually see my app around it, though. You know, I don't normally get to see that. That's neat. I'm getting to actually see it ain't set up right. I see that. It's got an NA up there at the top. Like it showed my viewers, and I'm actually getting to see all that stuff. I normally don't get to see that. I don't have room to put a laptop up here. I think I will get me an updated when I can. They're high. I don't know if I'll ever have one or not. And you know, they put their stuff so fucking out of date so fast. It's really be a waste of money to even buy an iPad. Because I'd say they update them every few years, and then you're just screwed when they update it and they eventually close your device off. This is an old one. This is number 2. It still has some things that works on it, some apps you can't take, but it is working. I just wanted to try it. I've never actually had an Apple before. My experience with Android tablets, now the problem is I always buy the cheap ones, but they're garbage, and I've never been able to get a Samsung. I hear Samsung's the best. I've never been able to actually get one. Maybe I may try to spring and get a Samsung. It probably would work similar to an Apple. But that'd be it won't be anytime soon. Boy, it's taking every dollar to live lately. So I'm going to just get in this thing, get into the session. Hopefully we put all these bums out that's making everything high. That's why they're controlling free speech. They don't want the bums to be sent home. Whoa! I got some money. Maybe she can buy her another business or something. Yeah, I can see my followers at the bottom of the screen. That's neat. I don't usually get to see that. Singing in the rain, fly me to the moon, fly me to the moon. I'm not going to spoil it or anything, but I finally watched the Cyberpunk, and boy, I wasn't expecting it the way it went, but that's all I'm going to say. Because there might be somebody who ain't seen it. There's 10 episodes. I finished them out today while I was tired. Well, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at all. I mean, not at all. I'd lay and lay and lay. Brain would not turn off. It wasn't stress or nothing. It was just, I just couldn't sleep. Boy, it looks good on that tablet. I'm actually seeing what my picture looks like. I don't experience this on the phone. Plus, it's neat to see the chat room too. Thing is, though, it was hell to get it to log in. I'll just have to log it in before I go on air. I didn't really have time tonight. Fly me to the moon. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that show to go the way it went. I actually liked it. It was crazy at times, boy, but they go crazy from them implants. You know, they're talking about making real life like that. That shows a warning to your world about what your future is like. If you want to see what the future is like, all these people, they read the books like the New World Order, and you need to check out Cyberpunk. I kid you not, the game is set on the world after the big tech implodes it.
You don't know me, but I know.
I love Cyberpunk. I've even gotten back into the game again. I didn't play it tonight because it's on my Xbox, and I wanted to play my Sony. So I don't have it on Sony. I got it on the Xbox. Got to find a new session because just do an invite only. That way I can get into a real session if I wanted to. Oh, I should have got me a water. I forgot. I used it up the other day when I did my exercises. I only did the legs last night and a little bit of the weights. I didn't feel like doing the band last night. I just didn't feel like doing the bands. The bands are probably my best workout, though. Now, I'm just going to have to get regular again, because if I don't, I'm going to get back into the same old... I mean, there I was doing good. I lost 10 more pounds. I got sick or something and slacked off. Not feeling good. And then I got hit by the rail. That put me off a week, too. I didn't do nothing that week. I should have done something. I could have, even if I'd done my weights, I should have done something. I was just too sore. I should have did something. Cars. Let me go to the bank. I guess she lost that money when I restarted. It ain't in her account. Ah, well. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show. I won't spoil it. But I was somewhat shocked at how it went. Yeah. I think they're going to be making a season 2. Hopefully. I hope they make a season 2. We don't know. Sometimes Netflix is like that. They're crappy. That's one of the reasons why I got my Netflix back. I saw it and I was looking forward to it. I'm hoping I can make it, but we'll find out here. We're getting down to the last weeks. It's those last weeks that's the tight. I'll find out where that $10 matters. If I have to, I'll have to let it go. We're pretty good to about the end of the month. Now, even then, it ain't good. Because we're already using up our budget about what would normally bought food for 2 weeks the first week. So, I'm telling you, these people have really stuck it to us with their shutdowns and their lockdowns and their destruction of food plants.
Meet me at the bar.
You know, some of that did happen under Trump. I'm going to be honest. The lockdowns and stuff happened under him. He shouldn't have allowed that to happen. He should have put his foot down. But now I would forgive him for that, considering what we got right now.
Hey!
You alright? Bloody hell!
But those lockdowns hurt too. Indeed, Mike Adams was telling people back then. He said, right now it's toilet paper. You give it a little while longer, it ain't going to be just toilet paper. It's going to be razor blades. It's going to be all of it. He was telling people that. It's going to be your food. He was telling us in the early months. I mean, you're talking about way back when COVID was getting rolling. He was for some of the lockdowns. He was for the 15 days.
Just chilling out.
He didn't think we should have expanded it more than the 15 days. And that was only to get an assessment of what we was dealing with. Because, see, that is the thing now. You see, the thing is, Biden's getting hell because he said that it's over. The problem is now we know how to treat it. You're not having as many deaths. You pretty much know the protocols to treat it. And there's different types of protocols. Some people do it naturally and slow, and some people takes the experimental drugs that were experimental and gets it quicker. But we can pretty much deal with it now. And you're looking at a survivor from a survivor that wasn't supposed to survive. I was fat, I was disabled, I was diabetic, I had high blood pressure. And it was hell, but I beat it. It was hell. I got this PlayStation to get. I wouldn't have probably got the PlayStation if I hadn't had it. I'll tell you why I didn't have the patience to sit and watch that guy's videos telling you how to do it. I was clinging to life that morning. I'd had the money saved for a year. Spent half of it, and I wished I'd kept more of it. Because then I ended up having to put a $200 on credit there. I had saved my stimulus. I'd only take it for food. Sometimes at the end of the month, I'd take it for turnbuckle if we had to go to turnbuckle. Or I'd take it for buy groceries with. And what got me that last time was I had to take it to buy groceries with, and then I put a little bit of it back, but then I had to pay my doctor fee. So when I had to pay the doctor fee, it made it $200. I don't feel bad about buying the groceries or living, because that's what at the end of the day, that's what your money's for. But the thing is I saved up for it. Stimulus. I wouldn't have had it without them stimulus. I have people, you got money to do them. No, I don't have money. That stimulus didn't have no attachments on it. You can do whatever you want to, and I decided not to give it to banksters even though I had debt. I said, fuck that. I'm not going to give it to banksters. I'm going to spend it on me. So I bought food with it. I bought some clothing, some other stuff with it. And I've saved the rest for the game players. And that's both Biden's and Trump's money. But I wish now, if I really knew how things was going to go. See, Radio Talk has been talking this for years, though. Thank you, Biden. You actually proved them right this time. Do you realize I started listening to talk radio in 1988 as a kid? And do you know that the talkers were talking that this stuff was coming back then? And it never happened. But guess who? Guess who's under watch it happen? Mr. Joe Biden. Thank you, Joe. You proved them right, son. You proved them right, old dude. Old dog. You proved them right. You finally brought it here. What? The talkers. Some of them are gone. Some of them are gone. Some of them aren't even alive anymore. 30 plus years of talk. And he made it come true. He made it come true. The Democrats made it come true. I'll probably get cut off. That's okay. Let them cut me off. Because I'm telling the truth here. You proved them right. Yeah, like if I could clap, I'd clap. You proved them right. You proved the talkers right. I didn't really, when they saying that, I'd say, even in Mike Adams, when he was telling us, of course I sort of, with the COVID, I was kind of weary about it. Because they had the shutdowns, the lockdowns. But Joe Biden and them proved everything that they've been telling you for 30 years on the radio, including Alex Jones. And that's what they really can't stand. That's why they're trying to shut him up. It's too late. He's done got it out here. Even if you shut him up now, that's 30 years that he's been talking. That's out there. That's not going away. It won't go away until every one of us are in the ground. We're going to remember. So keep it up. You're just making him more popular, too. You have made him a rock star. He is the Kiss and the Van Halen and the Led Zeppelin and the Jimi Hendrix and the Elvises of talk radio. Yeah, that's Alex Jones, baby. He's a rock star. And that's what you can't stand. That's what that little sniveling little attorney couldn't stand. You could see it on his face, the hatred, the jealousy. And that judge, I don't know about this new one. That judge that was in that other case, she was a conflict of interest. She supports causes that he speaks out against. That right there alone is an appeal. She's conflict of interest. She dyes her hair blue. You proved them right. You proved them right. So remember that when you go to the polls, people. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Just remember. Remember why you're hurting. Remember why you're starving. Remember why you're struggling, especially if you're poor. Rich people don't have anything to worry about. Well, they do. Their cost of livings are higher now. Even their cost of livings are higher. But us poor people, remember who put you there. It's not the party of the poor people. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. You know, I think I'm going to start putting on talk radio when I play Fallout, though. You know, I survived. Did I normally get killed every 2 minutes? It's like General Savage was a general or something. And I was sitting there listening to this hope of freedom and speaking out against what's coming. Boy, I survived about 30-something minutes where I actually got killed. Maybe 20. And then I rebooted, and then I got killed again. But normally I'm getting killed every 4 or 5 minutes. Indeed, I get killed till I give up. I think I'm going to put on General Savage or maybe even some Alex Jones next time I'm playing Fallout, because it helped me survive in that wasteland. I'm out of the wasteland, I need you to save me. I'm out of the wasteland, no religion at all. No religion at all. No religion at all. I'm out of the wasteland, I want you to save me. I'm out of the wasteland. Fuck you driving like that for. The thing about it is, I don't really like politics at all. What even brought me to the table was the fact that they're trying to silence everybody. Even with Waco, I woke up with that sort of. I still wasn't completely awake. I didn't know what the freak was going on. When I watched them people burn that day, and people tried to make it about the about the bad religion and the cult and all that. He had the right to be a bad religion and a bad cult, and he really had the right to buy arms. I know they regulate them. But really, it's a constitutional right. It's constitutionally illegal for them to forbid him from buying arms. Now, yeah, I could be concerned, and I could probably see being concerned and wanting to know what was going on. Because we do have terrorists in this country. But it's a funny thing, they only worry about the terrorists when their skin's white. I mean, did you know they had training camps going on with Islamics back then? They did. It was going on in Florida and everything. The late 90s in particular. Led up to 2001. They didn't care about that. They wasn't on top of that. They only care when it's white people. I say, yeah, he probably should have been investigated. But to go in there, and they used the children, by the way. That was what started it all. You can't pay no attention to that bullshit, because they'll make up that that's what they did to me. Because they didn't like me. They didn't like my father either. He was kind of smart ass too. Me and him were both smart asses. They didn't like neither one of us. My daddy was a smart ass, and I'm the smart ass of the smart ass. And I pushed it even further. I mixed him with rock and roll, which made me a worser jackass. Because I mixed him with rock and roll. I took what I learned from him and I mixed it with rock and roll. Look at that sign. He's probably going to complain.
Why you not juicing? I thought you were a winner!
Winner! Let's see what jobs we take. See if we can take any jobs. What's that A there? Is she close to it? Is that just her? Where's she at? Is that her? A? I'm having trouble seeing this morning. Yeah, I guess it could call it morning. Boy, it looks good on that tablet. I'm not used to seeing it that good. I'm seeing a little mini picture of my television, but I got the little thing across it, you know, like the little top up there, the little green part. I got the bottom flashing how many subscribers, how many followers I have, or how many subscribers. Doesn't really matter if I have a subscriber or not. I don't do it for business, so I don't do this for money. If I had to do it for money, I'd be in trouble depending on when I could get on. If you even get any attention in this world, you got to be regular. You got to have a schedule. You got to have regularity. And my irregular lifestyle, that's why I don't work. That's why I couldn't work back then. That's why I couldn't work. You got to be regular. You got to get on every day at the same time. You got to be pulling in some viewers. You got to be having some sponsors. Same with the podcast. Although sometimes it has been daily, there's been times I've walked away from it and not touched it for 2 or 3 months. You've got to have all this stuff if you do it for a business. You got to have the help for it. I don't have the help for it. I'm telling you, I would jump to socialism. I don't have a choice. The reason I'm on it anyway. Disabled. And I really am disabled. I don't care what anybody says about me. You say what you want to say. I don't have to prove anything. I'm not lazy. I just don't feel good. I wanted to be a singer. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to be a singer. Now, I don't know whether that would have been viable or not. That's what I would have wanted to be. I wouldn't have cared about being a rock star. I just wanted to be a player. I wanted to be a singer. Stardom don't matter to me. I'm kind of a reclusive person anyway. I don't mind people knowing me, but you know, I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. Everything I do is to fulfill a spot in a disabled life, for a life that I don't have, for a life that I want. I just didn't just throw the towel and say, well, I'm just going to not be live at all. I don't have a life even though I'm disabled. But I don't have the skills or the help to do it for a professional. That's not no lie, and that's not no made-up stuff. The neurological issues not going away. The tiredness is not going away. The days I go without sleep, oh yeah, you could get another drug, add another drug into it, with that diabetes and that other shit I have. Add another pill on top of another pill and on top of it until I end up just dying of pills like Elvis. So I just live with no sleep. I mean, I'm gonna eventually get sleep eventually. That's the way I see it. I'm gonna get sleep eventually. See, I did fall eventually today. I did sleep. I was tired when I signed off last night.
Hello, this is Pegasus Lifestyle Management. We haven't heard from you for a while. We are still the #1 source of luxury and specialty transportation.
And it's not in my head. I really have it. That woman, that neurologist, tried to explain it to me. Dumb little young me didn't listen to it. But I finally, all these years later, got what she was saying. Dumb me thought, yeah, I could probably improve it. I can do this and that. I found out she was right. It kicked in another night when I went to that concert. We had to walk around the building to get back to the parking. I thought I wasn't going to make it to the car. I did. That's why I don't push it. You see, sometimes I can push it and I'm in bed the whole week after I push it. Sometimes it will push till it kapoots. And when it kapoots, you don't want that. You can't get up, you can't get down. You're bedridden. That's why I don't push it with exercise, even though I'd like to lose weight at a faster pace. I know better. I know my body. I know how it works. I know when it shuts down. And I don't like it when it shuts down. I know me better than anybody, and I don't need some jackass telling me anything. I don't care if he wears a coat. I don't care if he calls himself a doctor. I don't care if he's one of these little couch educationers out here. He don't know me. He don't know my body. And he don't know. I know how to deal with me. I've learned it. I've had 47 years of experience in dealing with me. And I know what deals best with me. I don't need somebody telling me how to live my life. And they do try every once in a while. I've had years of this. We've had a recent one. I'm not going to discuss him. But we've had a recent armchair doctor. One thing people can never say about me, even when I'm getting up here and I'm talking about the politics. I never tell people how to go. I leave that up to them. Because you don't have a right to tell anybody how to live their lives. That's not your business. Even if it's a bad lifestyle and they're killing themselves, you have the right to probably tell them, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. But you can't tell them what to do. You don't have that kind of authority. It's not your place. Tell people how they live their life. Now, I will agree with the guy that's the podcaster that's telling people that maybe you should leave these people out of your life if you have a relationship with them and stuff. Because you're going to take that on too. You got to consider that. Is the love big enough? I mean, if you got a great love and all, it might be a good thing. In other words, it's going to overcome, and you two are going to end up the rest of your life together, and y'all fought the battle. But if you're actually looking for somebody, would you want to bring that into your relationship? That's what I'm saying. Because you're going to take whatever you take with a person. You're going to take their packages. You're going to take their problems. You're going to take, like say, that's one of the reasons why I, besides being shy and being afraid to even get out here anyway, a person would be taking on my disabilities as well. They would have to take that on as well. And that's a burden. That's something I think about. People criticize you staying home with your parents, they're your parents. I mean, in the Bible, if you read the Bible, there's a double portion for the disabled people. I mean, you got to know what you're talking about. You got to know what you're talking about. Lot and his family and all them stayed together until they couldn't afford to stay together anymore. Because Lot ended up getting blessed with Abraham. He got a part of God's blessing as well because he was Abraham's brother. And then they got too big for each other, and then they had to split. But family is family. That's your family. Nobody should ever be criticized for staying home.
You have for...
Now, there might be a limit to that. Like, say you're just a lazy bum. You just stay at home because you're a lazy bum. You want to live off your parents. That's one thing. The thing about it is, the people that's making judgments, because we don't discuss our business with people, with the exception of what I make public. We don't discuss our business. You don't know how we run our business, how we run our house. So you're not in any position to be making opinions about our livelihood. You don't know what you're talking about. Nobody's using anybody. We all help each other. When our mother had COVID, we helped her. We took care of her. She took care of us. She's took care of us our whole lives. You're not in any position to make any calls or judge. Nobody's using anybody. We're family. We love each other. Our family loves it. I don't know about you. Maybe that's your problem. Maybe you're jealous. Maybe you ain't got no family. You're just jealous. Maybe that's your problem. I said I wasn't going to get on that, but I did. Nobody's using anybody. We helped our father until he died. He had cancer. He had blindness before the cancer. We had to help him with his blindness. He didn't brag his blindness. He didn't want people to know he was blind. And I didn't blame him. When he'd get these concerts, he wouldn't let them know. He wouldn't let them know he couldn't see. Because he was the kind of guy that was the fighting kind. You know, he fought for himself. He didn't want them knowing it was a weakness. So he didn't let people know he was blind. You couldn't really tell he was blind. I'm telling you, he didn't walk around like a blind man. He was blind, he couldn't see. But he didn't act it. He was a tough guy to the day they buried him. And I will give my father that. Sometimes I didn't like him. But if I could ever be tough like somebody, I'd want to be tough like my daddy. He was tough to the end. I always feel like you should be sitting there listening to him when I listen to Savage. 'Cause that's what me and him did together for many years. My father helped. He even helped with the wheelchair. Him blind, because we couldn't all lift. It used to take sometimes 3 of us to lift that damn thing to get it on the car. When I had to use that fucking thing. But they really just proved what a couple of jackasses are, because they're throwing off on disabled and elderly people. Really, they're low life. They called me a low life, but they're really the low lives. Just saying. That's what's low life. I mean, the Bible even tells you that's low. There was things you didn't do in the Bible. You didn't take advantage of the sick, the disabled, the poor. By the way, the Democrats did that, by the way. Oh, Mr. O, the one I love the best down there in Florida, Mr. DeSantis. He let them prove what jackasses. Those people that they were flying around, they weren't only illegal aliens, they were poor illegal aliens. You know, they're always preaching to us. They actually took advantage of the poor people. They treated them like trash. Congratulations, Democrats. You did what you accused us of doing. You treated them like trash. Yeah. You violated God's word. Yeah, there was things you didn't do in the Bible. You didn't take advantage of elderly people or orphans. That's what Jesus was preaching to the Pharisees about. They would put their parents away and stuff. That's why he'd rub it in their face about honoring mother and father. Because they didn't care about their mothers and their fathers. But basically, their posters and their veiled messages, but the posters they made confirmed the veiled messages in the fake voice, because it says the same things that the fake voice says. And they had my video took down of the fake voices, and I don't know how UG2. I mean, I was actually exposing the bullies. It wasn't like I was bullying somebody. I was exposing the bullies. But I guess you can't even do that, and if you follow by that law, they could say that Project Veritas is doing the same thing, because they're exposing them people. So basically, if you look at them removing my video, would basically have to remove Project Veritas if you live by the same rules that they remove my video. Because then after he had the video removed, he went and made a big post about me. When he don't know anything about my life. After he had the videos of them, of course. He waited till he had the videos of them. See, that's the way he played his game. See, the video was evidence of what they were saying about me before I replied and called them all those names. See, when people does me, I don't play nice. I'm not nice. I quit being nice at 13. When people says tat for tat, I go for tat for tat. And I know it's not the biblical thing to do, but at the same time, I don't let it go because I refuse to be bullied. See what I'm saying? I will forfeit those rewards. You know there's rewards for that stuff. I will forfeit them. Stand up for myself. I won't play nice. Now, as far as the forgiveness and stuff, I'll work on that stuff. If you don't forgive, God can't forgive you. So you have to work on that stuff. But now, as far as replying, I'm going to reply, and I'm not going to always be nice. And I will forfeit those rewards for that. Now, I'll probably cry in heaven. But I'm not going to play nice. There's a reward for turning your cheek. But when I got tired of people pushing me around and kicking me, I decided to start standing up for myself like my father did. He was He was the person that stood up for himself. And I decided I wanted to be just the same thing. Plus, I like the rock stars' way of handling things. You ever seen the rock stars' way of handling things? It was always dramatic. Now, they're not really the best thing, probably the best policies to follow. The wood finger policy. Like I said, I used to sit and wait on that in the concert. That'd be my favorite spot. When Austin Winkler, she says she wants to be friends, and he get ready to take his big step back. There you go, the with one finger. I said, I used to wait on that. That was my highlight of the concert. That's why he's always my favorite rock star. He might have come later. He might have come later than Axl Rose, and Mustaine, and all these other people I like. But I love this with one finger. The other dude does it too, but he don't do it like Austin Winkler. Austin Winkler had a with one finger feel to it. I hope he never loses that, even though he's trying to recover from his problems he endured with rock and roll. I hope he never loses his edge, his finger. Because I like finger. I've tried to keep finger even though I'm a Christian. Because finger will keep you from getting run over. Now, it don't get you rewards. I wouldn't never tell you to be just like me. Indeed, I'd probably tell you to read the Bible and not be like me. Because you're going to get some grief from it from the Holy Spirit. He's going to get on to you. I just keep praying for him to not quit getting on to you. Because if he ever stops, that means you're in trouble. So I just always pray, Lord, just get me through it. And then maybe I'll tone it down some. But then I don't never tone it down some. Either way, I can't because I'm scared to let it go. I'm scared I'll become somebody's schmuck. So I've had to keep my finger even though I'm a Christian. One eye like a serpent, and one like a. But I try to be as peaceful as I can be. But I try to keep an edge, so I don't have to fall victim to being somebody's schmuck. I do need to clean up some. I will admit that. I'm trying. I'm working on it. Working on it with God. I'm praying about it. Working on it. But at the same time, I get scared when I think about it. I think, well, if I give it up, I'm probably going to become that schmuck I was when I was a kid and everybody ran over me. That's my fear. But then I see people like Rodney Howard Brown and Jonathan Shuttlesworth. I want to tell you, they're two of the best. That's why I keep watching them. They're two of the best godly ways of handling things. So I'm not a complete lost cause, because I'm paying attention. Even though I'm not a kid anymore, I'm kind of watching them like a little boy would watch people, because I see them. I see how powerful they are, but I see they don't take nobody's BS. So I look at that as a godly influence that God gave me to try to edge down some of that rock and roll that I picked up. I'm watching them. And I'm trying to learn. Because I don't know any other way. I had a rowdy father that stood up for everything. Now he was more decent about it than I was. Now he got kind of bad in the last years. My mom had to get on to him. He got where he was saying fucking to her. She had to get on to him. He didn't ever do that before. She figured he got around. So this was right before he quit working. She figured he got around some people that talk like that at work. He didn't ever do that. That we knew of. If he did it at other places, but not around us. And that's probably the case because Savage used to tell the tale about the 3 talks that you used to have. What was it? One was the bar talk, and one was the family talk, and then one was the public talk. Savage used to talk about that on his radio program. So it could be that he did these things, he just didn't do it in front of us. Yeah, but she banged it up, son. I didn't ever take no mission to nothing. I just drove around. It was about time to get off here, and it was late as I started. I hate I didn't take no mission. It's basically just it's really just like taking a ride. Like if you're in the real world and there's people that cruise around and do nothing. That's kind of what I do in this game. A lot of nights, that's what I end up doing. I start talking. I do the tool. I drive around. You know, I know Savage probably don't like video games, but you ought to get him a driving video game. And then just sit there and talk while he's video gaming. Boy, he would be knowledgeable to do something like that. He needs to get him a digital platform where he just sits and he's behind the wheel. And then I wish I could get it where I'm inside the car, you know. You can sometimes get it. I don't know how to do that on this phone. I know it's the button here when you do it on the Xbox, but I'm not sure which button does it on the phone. He's driving around, and he's on a virtual car, and he's talking to stuff. He might be able to reach the kids that way. Kids might watch him. That might be a way of reaching the kids, Savage. I wish somebody'd take the notes and pass it along to you. He's telling his tales, but he's in a digital car. He wouldn't even have to play a criminal, and he could get him like those racing ones or something. You know, he wouldn't dare play GTA. He's one of the people who speaks out against it. I see it for what it is. I mean, yeah, it could probably influence crime. I doubt it. Probably could. But most gamers, if you know the gaming world, I've met a lot of them. Most of them are just people who have problems. They either autistic or they got some things that, like me, disabled, where they can't deal with the world. They mostly just live it out in their video games. That's what I've been. I'm not knocking any of you. Don't feel offended if you hear me talking. I'm actually speaking up for you here. That's what I've met. Now sometimes they get feisty and there's online fights and feuds. They'll feud with each other. But other than that, that's usually what you got with the gaming world. It's usually people that just can't deal with the real world. So they live in a virtual world. He would never play this because that's one of the games that he thinks is, and it does have a lot of bad. There's bad sex in it. You can go get prostitutes. There's all kinds of bad stuff you can do. You have to steal and kill. But you can also just have fun and drive around like I do. Now you don't get much points for that. And every once in a while you run out. You're riding around town basically, because it's sort of like a virtual car where you're getting in the car and I'm just having this conversation. Now a lot of times I try to take the mission. But then I end up a lot of times just riding around because I get caught in my conversations. That's what happens when I don't take anything. I'm getting caught up in my conversation. You know our family, though. You know our whole family's like that. I mean, back to the family thing. We take care of our family. We take care of each other. We don't abandon our family. Uh-oh. Better get out. Better get out. It's going to explode. Better run, baby. Wonder if it ever explodes. Let's see if it ever explodes. Where'd it go? See if we can ever watch it explode. Wouldn't that be funny to watch it explode? Let's see if it explodes. Savage would be a real good influence to young people. He would be. I like listening to him. I always like listening to him. People look past the politics and look at people for what they're worth. People's always got to be with whatever just like you. You know how we learn from each other? We're going to listen to people that are different from us. I gotta admit, even I fall in the category. But you know what? I did sit down. Like when I had XM radio, they used to have the left and the right channel. Back in the beginning, even after I got to listening to Savage, when he wasn't on, I'd sit and listen to the other talkers just to see what they were talking about. Even that old, whatever his dude's name was who might got into Congress. I can't think of his name. He was on the radio back then. I believe he became a senator. He was a lefty. He was a big lefty. He went on and ran for an office. I used to listen to that left, just hear what they was talking about. And I'd go over and I'd listen to the right, and I'd sit and wait on Savage every evening. And then when he got off XM, I started listening to KNAW. And every day I'd listen to this guy before him. There's several talk shows that come before him. One was Doyle. He, before him, there's this guy named Katz. I used to like listening to Katz. He was a local guy. He was a local San Francisco guy. But then I got to listen to Jerry Doyle, and then later on I found out Jerry Doyle did the Optimus Prime monkey. You know, the monkey that was the 8. He was his voice, and I thought I'd sit and hear his voice, and I think it sounded familiar. Then I read a few years ago he died a few years ago. I knew he disappeared. I knew I could hear him. I read up on him, he had died. He was also in some of them TV shows. It was on TV, but the one I knew him from was the monkey Optimus Prime. The 8. But I used to listen to the left just to hear what they was talking about, just to hear what their issues were. I've never been a full conservative anyway. I've always been some kind of mixture. Mixed with Christian values. I'm gonna tell you, I wish my
how's
Christian
the parachuting going? Or did you pussy out already?
pussy out. I do wish my Christian was better. But I'm not going to cry because, you know, he's with you for eternity. And that's a walk. It's a marathon. It's a sprint. It's not, my video is running out. Let me start a new one. Just in case I get muted, I'll have it recorded. The road it goes depends on how good you go with it. If you go with the flow with him, you have a where you're in the desert. He showed me that. He showed me that when I was a kid. I know it as sure as I'm sitting here. Back then, I didn't know what I was seeing. He was basically telling me, son, you're going to chase toys and all this other stuff your whole life, and you're going to walk out in the desert. But he not only showed it to me, he let me feel it. It was like a dream, but it wasn't a dream. It's really like he took me there. I could feel the sun, I could feel the sand, I could feel the wind, the heat. I was sitting there playing with my Star Wars toys. And then my toys start sinking into the sand. And I start grabbing for them, and I grab more for Darth Vader than anything. The Stormtrooper and the Chewbacca and the Luke and the Leia, they're all going with him. But I grab for the Darth Vader, but he eventually goes too. And then I look up, and then there's this camels. People pass me, and I could smell the camels. I could feel them. And then years and years and years later, when I started studying the Bible, I told my mama, she already knew about it. She remembered when I was a kid me babbling about it. I told my mama, I said, I know what I was seeing. I was seeing the Exodus. Well, as these years has rolled around the corner and I've seen how my life has taken how it's went, the goods and the bads and all of it, I've realized what he was telling me. As a little child, I didn't know what he was telling me. I was still a little child. I mean, I didn't even grow up the big child yet. I ain't even blew up yet. I was still a little boy. I don't even know if I had a belly back then. I think I was still that little skinny boy when I dreamed that. Feel it, too. Not just dreaming. Feel it. Indeed, I seen a picture the other day that reminded me of it, because it started out as a different dream. It started out like this. We were sitting in a restaurant or something. There was a little plant beside the table. The music was rolling. I didn't see nobody. I didn't see my parents. I didn't see nothing. Just sitting there looking at the end of the table, and there's a plant at the end of it. Brown wall, music playing in the background, and then poof, it morphs. And then when it morphed, I was in the desert. I felt the desert. I didn't feel the boom, boom. I just heard the music. It felt like a movie. But you could feel it. A virtual reality that you could really feel. But you couldn't feel the restaurant. It was just like a regular order drink. That's how it started out. It's like a movie. It just like Jim Morrison. You ever seen that movie with the Jim Morrison? The Doors. He's coming in and out, and they got all those weird videos. I mean, I know that wasn't real life. That was just Oliver Stone's tale of it. But he was showing me back then that my life was going to be in the desert. But the thing is once you've been in the desert so long, it's even harder to get out of the desert. Because you've been there so long, you don't know how to get out. Or it's a long walk back. But he was already telling me as a child how it was going to be. And I just didn't know what I was seeing. And my mama actually remembered. And we're talking about years later. I was a grown man. And she said, I remembered you telling me that when you was little. That's the way she went. I could actually feel it, though, y'all. I mean, I could feel like if she's here and she's got the sun shining on her, I could feel that sun on me. I was sitting down in the sand, and I was playing with them toys. And they just started sinking. And I looked up and I saw the Exodus. You could feel them, you could smell them, you could hear them. It was neat, actually. I'm going to ask God when I see him, if I ever do get to see him, if I don't end up in hell. I hope I don't. I'm not going to believe that way. I'm not going straight to hell. But I'm going to ask him. I'll say, did you really show me that Exodus? Did you really take me there? I think you did. Because I could feel it. I'm not going straight to hell. Just like everybody said. That's not my hope. I don't want to be with the devil. He sucks. I'm at the windmills, y'all. Oh, it's the owl. Back when it was quiet and Dalton was quiet, you could hear them all the time. I miss when Dalton was quiet. It was more beautiful back then. Dun, 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 dun. Enjoy the silence. Dalton used to be quiet like that. You only had your certain times the traffic was busy. You didn't have all the restaurants, all the stores. It was weeds all the way down. Even that day we got in trouble with the Arby's, and I always think back to that too. About us jumping the tables and Mama telling us to stop. Then she took us home and I was so mad about it. And years later, like 92, a teenager, we get to a McDonald's, we're going on vacation. There's these little brats. They were doing the same thing. And I told my mama, I said, thank you for getting on to me back then. That was the best thing you ever did. Their parents just letting them do it. They wasn't disciplining them at all. They was just letting these heathens. They even got at my table, sat over there grinning at me. I was sitting at a different table. Because we had our whole family with us. We had my sister and her family come. And I was sitting at my own table. The little kids come over there, they sat down, grinned at me, at my table, handling my table. And I told my mom, I yelled out in the restaurant. I said, thank God for trying to discipline me back then when I was a kid. I got mad at you. I'm apologizing. That's what I told her. She took us home. She told us she was going to take us home. She told that woman we sat and wait for it to cook. It was a Sunday evening, I believe. Pretty sure it was Sunday, Saturday or Sunday. Well, it was the weekend because we went to school. And she kept telling us. She said, y'all don't stop doing jumping table to table, I'm going to take you home. Well, we went all the way to the back booth. We jumped to the next table. She told me, that woman over there is going to have to clean all this up before she goes home today. And if y'all don't stop jumping them tables, I'm going to take y'all home. And finally, we got to about the fourth table. She told her, she said, when you get that ready, pack it up. We're going home. I said, I told them to settle down, and they're not settling down, so they're going to go home and eat. That's the way she did. And when I see people not disciplining their children and not raising their children, I'm always thankful for my parents who would try to discipline me. Because, yeah, I've turned out to be this wild ass here as an old man. But I only got that way because I get frustrated with society. And that's one of the things I get frustrated with, the no respect. You know, like he used to go around, no respect. Well, that's one of the things that pisses me off. Nobody respects anybody's property. Nobody respects anything about people. And I've gotten rude to get rude back with them. I don't want to be better than them. I just want to treat them how they treat me. See what I'm saying? Now, I shouldn't really do that because I'm lowering myself. I really am lowering myself. I'm making myself look as dumb and stupid as they are. But I was raised. It's hard to even believe I'm an old man. I don't feel old. I've always been disabled, and I always felt like an old man that way. But I don't feel any different in the brain. I still feel like I did when I was a kid. Just a little more grown is all. I'm a little, not much. I haven't grew up much. Just a little bit. A tad bit. My mama tells me that too. So she says, you ain't grew up much. I said, yeah, I know. I admit it, I'm honest. I'll never get her home. I'll probably just have to call her a cabbie. We'll have to get, she's got a bunch of jobs, so I'm about ready to get off now. I bet it's late. 4:30. It's late. It's late. We gotta get on home. Well, it's late. Oh, I can't deposit it. I need that withdrawal. Except the wrong one. Okay, let's see how much she'll need. She'll need more than 50. That bum, I turned her into the police. Of course, I don't blame him. She's robbing him. She's robbing him. They need to update when they make the new ones. They need to put Uber in them. You get an Uber instead of a caddy. Or something like Uber. It's there. Of course, I think these are set in 80 something. I mean, when you look at the dates on those cameras, it's April something, 87, something like that. Which is kind of silly because they got cell phones and everything. You know, they didn't have cell phones in 87. They had
The cab should be with
pull
you
out
very
time.
soon.
I mean, I still remember 87. 87 was one of my favorite years. Monkey. Bum, 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 boom. I think it was 88. Boom, boom. 88 was bad. But, Moni. Moni, ooh, and I feel alright. I said, yeah.
Okay, let's go.
87 was one of my favorite years. Moni, George Michael, Faith, bum, 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 bum. Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. Boner. I love the video better than the song. You know, the radio song has a different sound than the video. The video's real rough. I said, yeah. Make me feel all right, Moni.
My paddle is kissing my metal, so to speak.
Yeah, I love the video even over the song. The song on the radio sounds kind of like they tried to popify it. Now that video, I recorded the video, by the way, when I was a kid. I had the single, but I didn't like it. So I had to take the audio off the video. Moni. Well, I feel alright. Weren't they ever released as a single or anything? Billy Idol, if you ain't released that, you need to release it as a single, buddy. That's my favorite version. I don't know if he ever did or not. I need to go check his catalog. You know, he was good at that. He had, like, there was this one version, and I got the CD in. My CD got broke. I have never been able to find that version of White Wedding. I've looked. I've scrolled YouTube. I've scrolled the sites. I had this particular CD, and it got broke, and there was a certain mix. You know, Moni, I mean, his songs, they were different. Like, some of them were longer. The vocals would be arranged different and everything. This particular White Wedding was my favorite version. And I haven't been able to, I've yet to be able to find that White Wedding. I don't remember what it was titled. That's why I probably could find it if I had the title. If he ain't released that, he needs to put it out. The video version on audio. Moni, woo! Yeah, I love that video. That's my favorite version of Moni. Boy, I used to sit and wait for it to come on TV. Then I recorded it. And when I recorded it, I watched it till the tape broke. Boney. We're getting close to the Satai. Boney. He's going fucking slow. I better put her some more money in there if I will use up what she's got. It'd be called the police to her. Boney. I got on Money. Yes, it comes down, said the Boney. Bomb. Bomb. That's where I got obsessed with the metal, though, y'all. You know, I was already hard then, if you really think about it. So I was obsessed with that. It was kind of harder than the pop Money I was on the radio.
Hey, gorgeous.
So I guess I was already metal before I went metal. I guess I loved Rat. I remember Rat in 1984, 83. I had this ride called the Himalaya. And it comes to the fair. And I used to love it when we go on there and Rats start playing. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Looking at you. Looking at me. The way you move. You know it's easy to see the neon lights on it tonight. I'm glad he survived his cancer. When I heard he was had cancer, I put him on my prayer list, and I was praying morning nightly. They always said he was like a yeah. He called the damn police. He used up our fucking money, and then he called the fucking police. She got an apartment. Thank God. I was just trying to get off. It was really him that was the fucking crook. He drove her around slow. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Looking at you, looking at me, the way you move. You know it's easy to see the neon lights on it tonight. Time and time, I'm gonna. But I've got it all jumbled. I'll see y'all next time. FPS is signing out. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Hold on. Sign out over here. I didn't do anything tonight. Just yaddling. Rattle. I guess in some ways, this is the podcast that isn't the podcast because it's not supposed to be a podcast. But it's supposed to be chat. It's my chat. Okay, now we're going to stop the recording. Now we'll go over here and stop the broadcast. I'll see y'all next time. An hour and 14 minutes and nothing. Just talk.